Hello, Money Queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, best-selling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Hello, ladies and money queens. It is Jessica Weaver. I am thrilled for tonight's episode. We have one of our featured authors from Divorce Decoded joining us here tonight. And I have to say, Maryanne's chapter is probably the most self-reflective chapter. And this is the work that we need to do when we are going through tough times, good times, sideways times, is that self-reflection on how am I feeling, especially if you are an empath. If you take on a lot of other people's emotions, their feelings, you're constantly trying to make sure everybody else is okay. We fall into that people-pleasing mode there, especially during these times of divorce for women, since we're nurturers. We're worried about how the kids are feeling. We're even worried about how the ex-spouse is feeling, or soon-to-be ex-spouse is feeling. How are you feeling? And when you're in good times, celebrating them, how does this feel? How can we have more of this? How can we expand on this feeling? How can we go even bigger next time? So I'm really grateful that Maryanne joined our book to offer this for our readers and also to offer it here on Women Behind the Millions, as we have dedicated the entire season 3 to the D word, divorce, the juiciness. Give you an idea. This is a quote that Maryanne starts her chapter with. She's probably surprised I'm starting with this. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. That gave me chills. This is from Alice Walker. That gave me chills when I started to read her chapter to prepare for this episode. How true is that? How much do you talk down about yourself, not acknowledging all of your skills? We talk about creating your badass list on the show, right? All of the amazing things that you have accomplished, your attributes, your certifications, your experience, the struggles that you came through the other side, thinking that you don't have any power. And I feel a lot of women feel this way when they're in a bad relationship, or maybe they have been manipulated to view that they don't have any power. But I want you to know tonight that you have choices. No matter what, you have choices. If you can't see the choices that you have, you need to reach out to a professional. If you feel that you don't have any choices when it comes to your money, reach out to a financial expert. If you feel no choices in your relationship, reach out to a therapist or a divorce coach. Or you have no choice in the direction of the divorce, reach out to an attorney or a mediator. You always have choices, and the choices you've made in the past have gotten you to where you are today. So new choices today are going to rewrite your future and change that trajectory of where you want to go. And my hope is that the resources through this show and through Divorce Decoded, our newest book at Pink Fix Productions, you will see that there are so many choices that you have, and that gives you the power, right? The power to choose for you alone as well. So I'm going to bring Donna Cates on right now to talk about what we can expect from Maryanne. What are some of the questions, Donna Cates of the Wealth Boutique, our divorce source here? What are some questions that you have for Maryanne for tonight?
I am really looking forward to having the opportunity to ask a very selfish question. I know, literally, just seeing myself here in this video, I am my own worst critic. I am going, oh my gosh, look at me. I need to do this. I should do that, or whatever. But so I'm really curious to know how she can help women overcome that self-criticism when they're seeing photographs of themselves, especially with the work that she does, because it's so creative and empowering. So that's a big one for me personally. And I'm also really interested to see why the work that she does is so important for women that are in any type of big transition.
It's almost like a document of that time in their life, which is really neat. And how do they want to remember it? How do they want to show up in it? So Maryanne, she sent us her magazine. Look how beautiful this is, ladies. So on brand. Make sure you can see. There it is. And it goes through, and you can just see the journey these women go on with Maryanne as they're working together and really pulling out. Like, I could tell exactly who the dancer was. I could tell who was the mom, and want their personalities to really shine through, and probably sides of themselves that they shy away from the world seeing, which even on board don't, which is, we have family pictures, and then look, I mean, the power of the woman's body is just incredible. To go back to the initial quote of her chapter, too, it is so beautiful, the work that she does here as well. So let's bring Maryanne on. I'm compiling my words here right now. Teng Hogarth. To give a bio for Maryanne, she is a portrait photographer based in Summit, New Jersey. She helps women step into their confidence one portrait at a time, which is incredible. Maryanne, welcome to Women Behind the Millions. How are you tonight?
Thank you. I am feeling great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
And incredible. I love your backdrop. And I have to say, and our viewers know this, I love a good pixie haircut. My mom has been doing a pixie haircut for probably 3 or 4 decades. Donna always has her amazing haircut. Maryanne, yours so stylish, so beautiful, timeless. I love it. It's beautiful to see here.
Thank you so much.
As a quick thing. So, Maryanne, what made you want to join our mission with Divorce Decoded and being one of our featured authors for it?
Well, I feel it's super important as a portrait photographer to help women feel more confident. And I think a woman who's going through divorce, or who has been recently divorced, or maybe has been divorced for decades, I think she, and any woman really going through a transition in life, deserves to feel better about herself. And I feel like I can do that. I feel like I'm a catalyst for positive change in a woman's life. And in any way that I can do this, I'm happy to say yes to. So that's why I decided to do this with you.
Oh, incredible. I'm so glad that you did, to showcase such confidence for these women who probably feel at the moment during their divorce journey to lack, or when they're feeling most vulnerable, their insecurities are flaring up, the triggering different pieces of them as well. But for them to be able to view in such an amazing, beautiful way themselves as well. And Donna, you talked about how to women overcome being the worst critic, right? Let's toss it over to Maryanne. How do you help women overcome being the worst critic? And how can we prevent that for future generations?
Well, Donna, you're not alone. We all do that. We all get a glance of ourselves in the mirror, and we judge ourselves. We're very quick to find the thing that's wrong with ourselves, but it's just a really quick choice that you can make to change how you respond. And I'll just start with an example of something that happened to me yesterday. And then I'll go into how I can, I'll just parlay that into my business, my portrait photography. So I was in a dance class yesterday. I was in my flow. I was moving along with all these women, and I was just enjoying myself. And then all of a sudden I caught a glance of myself in the mirror. And I have a scar right here that sort of embarrasses me. It's a reminder of my journey that I went through, my cancer journey. It's where I had my port. And I just got really distracted. And I started to focus on that scar. It's like I got embarrassed, I felt shame. And then literally in just a matter of seconds, I was able to change that self-judgment before I spiraled into just doubt and shame. And so I just decided this is part of me, and it's part of who I am. It's part of my life, and I'm just going to embrace it. And so I shifted back into just a smile. I smiled at myself instead of going, oh gosh. And then I just fell back into the flow again of the dance. And so had I not been able to shift, I would have just missed this incredible moment of dancing. And so that's I think I in life, if we just focus on our how we look and we judge ourselves, we're just going to miss our appointment with life. And so it's important to just make that choice to shift.
A choice to shift. As I was talking about the self-criticism, I was thinking about when I'm deciding on an outfit to maybe bring on a business trip, and I'll put it on, see, one, does it still fit? Two, how do I like it? Is it too short? Whatnot? And I'll come out and my daughter will say, oh, I love that dress. And you know what? Immediately I say, it feels a little too tight here or on my stomach. And I'm showing her and pointing out the flaws that I see on myself. I need to stop doing that, especially in front of her. Because I'm thinking, like, when do we become very conscientious of our flaws or the things that we don't like about ourselves? It's probably at a pretty young age.
Yeah, I think maybe someone may have modeled that for you, and maybe, you know, you recognize that you're modeling that for her. So the most importantly, you're reinforcing that within yourself. So the minute you stop saying that, and the minute you start admiring yourself, that what you focus on expands. And so your self-love will grow. So in terms of photography, Donna, I know you expressed an interest in that. I would love to photograph you. So I think when I create these beautiful portraits of a woman, they serve as a reminder of how authentic she felt during that photo shoot. So I don't just do photographs of one emotion. I like to capture a lot of different emotions. So what I mean by that is, like for instance, in personal branding, I think it's really important to have your best face, put your best face forward, your professional self, which is very important. But then in a more a boudoir photograph, you know, we're more sensual, and that's the sensual side of ourselves. And then I love to bring out the playful side and maybe a vulnerable side, because we are more than just our profession. We're mothers, we're sisters, we're daughters, we're sensual human beings. And so I like to capture all dimensions of a woman and then present these photos to her, so that she can look at these photos and remember how she felt at that moment when I photographed her. It's a reminder of her full authentic self. And so once she feels that, she can go into the world more confidently. So that's how I feel. That's how I help a woman feel more confident.
And I have to share personally, when I first met you and saw your website, I literally said, okay, so she's in New Jersey, I'm in Alabama, but I am going to have to get myself there so that you can photograph me. So that's going to happen. I can't say when, but we will make that happen. But the thing that I wanted to share with the audience is that just looking through the magazine that you shared with us and seeing all of those different aspects of the same woman was literally empowering to me. And I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, because most of us, especially when we're having professional photographs, I mean, we have the headshot, right? And how many views of your head can you have? But the expression of emotion and capturing the different personalities, you know, the laughter, the vulnerability, like you said, you are an artist when it comes to that. And I think that's what's going to make your chapter so valuable to all of our readers, because you are reminding them of who they are that they may have forgotten because of all of this emotional burden that they've been carrying.
I agree. And to look at your photo and go, I am so beautiful, I am so powerful, I am so amazing. How could I have ever forgotten this, right? You know, we're so conditioned by society to, well, that's a whole nother conversation, but anyway, we'll bring it back. Yeah, so these are reminders of how powerful we are. I think that's an important point.
That makes me think, Maryanne, are there things that you do with the pictures after they get them? you said like put it on your phone and looking at it, and saying those few items really quick, regularly, repetitive, consistently can be a huge change to their mindset.
So as you can see, this is my reveal wall. These are prints, and so I believe wholeheartedly that photos should come off of a phone and into print. And so I myself have. I know this is a podcast, but hopefully this will encourage all our listeners to look at the YouTube version. So this is an album I made of myself, and okay, I just randomly opened it. So these are photos that I myself have taken, self-portraits, and also other people have taken of me. And so I use this as a reminder, right? So like the story I shared about the dance class, feeling less than confident. So I just flashed an image of myself that these photos are prints, but they're also like etched in my memory. And so if I can use those visual cues, really, to remember that, I can look fantastic, and if I feel fantastic on the outside, I think that really does help me feel better on the inside. It's not necessarily the only thing, but it is part of that.
Oh, that's incredible. I want to talk about one of the examples you start your chapter with, Maryanne, is floating. This feeling of you're in a yoga class.
Oh, I think, Jessica, did you freeze? Or Donna, did she freeze on us?
Rose, yeah, we're going to have a timeout on that one.
Here, I don't know why. I have full internet, but Streamer added this thing where now it's showing different bars. Before I'm like, I'm as close as I can be to the router. I would be sitting on the router if I was any closer.
Yeah, I did notice you froze every now and then.
I am freezing?
Every once in a while.
Okay. I don't know. Well, let me know if it does again, and I'll do another break. Okay. I was just going to segue into the yoga practice.
Yep. The flow.
The flow. All right. Ready? Maryanne, I want to segue into your yoga practice. You talk about this a lot in your chapter. You even have this experience of this feeling of floating in this amazing strength power pose too. And just talk about the flow, the yin and the yang, the balancing of energies that you also bring into your work. So first, what got you into yoga? Can I ask that?
Well, I was a competitive gymnast when I was younger, so I've always felt the body is. I just felt better when I was stronger. So that led me into yoga in my 20s, 10 years ago. I'm just kidding. In the 80s, in college, and then I just kept going. It's always been an important part of my life. So, but the practice of qigong, I would say, is relatively newer, and that has brought me back to, I think, I have a very deep connection to my Eastern heritage. So it just all kind of came together. I mean, I love the Eastern philosophy of yoga, and then I just learned more about qigong and tai chi and Chinese traditional medicine, and all of that finds its roots in the yin and yang of Taoism.
Okay.
And so the yin is the feminine energy, which I talk about in my chapter, and the yang is the masculine energy. And I'm not talking about male and female. I'm talking about all people have masculine and feminine energy within ourselves. And it's an important point to stay balanced between the two. And so I find in contemporary society, Western contemporary society, there's a little bit more of an emphasis on the yang energy, doing, assertiveness, just there's this being bold, and then I think in being competitive. So all of that is to the expense of collaboration, yielding, surrender, being. And so I brought that into my yoga practice of understanding how important it is. Again, balance is super important in yoga. It's a balance between having the strength of your body, but just also surrendering in your mind. Because if you overthink something, you can just lose your balance. So it's a yielding, it's a softness to the moment. And then that's what happened in that Titibhasana asana pose. I just I had built up to it strength-wise, but just I surrendered and I was able to balance. And it was pretty a powerful feeling, yeah, to float like that.
Oh, it's amazing. And you're a beautiful writer, because I felt like I was there. I felt like I was doing a pose and I could capture and kind of borrow that feeling from you as you're writing it, and that gradual build up, right? We forget how much we are building slowly over time to then get to that moment and having that complete surrender and freedom and feeling of flying as well. I understand completely what you're talking about with the feminine masculine energies, Donna, being in a male dominated industry and a very competitive, we'll say, industry. It's money, right? Go, 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 action oriented, build, build, build. And we forget about this feminine. And for myself, being a wife and a mom, then I'm going home and I felt like I was treating my kids like employees. Why aren't you getting this done? Versus switching gears and allowing the softer side of me to come in the moment and to be. It's like we're almost fighting against the two energies at times. How do you bring that into your work with the women in photography?
Well, it's important to bring the body in, to embody softness. So again, this is going to be more visual, but it's like an important thing to caress your face, or to slow down the breath, or to just breathe together. Little slow moments like that can really help soften a woman. And it's at that moment when I think we can be more vulnerable. We put down our armor, we let our true self come forward, and that's when I can photograph the real person and not the person that we're presenting to the world. I don't want someone to perform. I want someone to just be themselves. And so we can do that more, I think, when we're relaxed, just in general, not even in a photo shoot, just in life in general. So that's why I feel that it's important to bring the softness into our life and into our being.
Just those little movements, I felt immediately put at ease. I don't know about you, Donna. Those small little pieces, I could imagine. Yeah, we all were putting this armor, these masks up, these walls, barriers for you to create that space, Maryanne, especially for women in divorce. Such an emotional time for them, and they feel like they're in a fight. They might be in an actual high conflict divorce, to give them that space to find who they are again, and maybe who they are is changing as they're going through the divorce as well. Something that you wrote in the book, and it's a Chinese proverb, correct? A tree that is unbending is easily broken. That must be something that you really take on. And I was just reading about how water flows. It's very fluid. And when there's a rock or a boulder in the river's path, the water doesn't question why it's there. It just bends and moves around it and keeps it going, never stopping, never getting upset the rock's there. Just, oh, here's a rock, and we found another path to move around it. It made me really think about that an unbending tree is easily broken. How do you take that into your own life, Maryanne?
Well, when I am too rigid and holding on to perceptions of what I feel is right, I deplete my energy. And so again, I constantly make an effort to not hold on so tightly to my perceptions, because my dad would always say, no matter how thin a piece of paper is, there's always two sides. And so bringing it back to divorce, I think it's important to see that, yeah, we really think that we're right, but maybe maybe there's another side to it. And I haven't been divorced, so I can't say, that's probably, it's a really difficult thing to go through. But I bring it back to my journey through cancer, which is a similar journey, not as, similar in that there's all of a sudden this like obstacle, this whole change happens without any anticipation. And it's that boulder that comes into the river that you just mentioned. And if you relax and flow around it a little bit with more ease and acceptance and really trying to understand what's going on, I think then that ultimately is a healthier way to do it than to butt up against the rock, right? Because then if you keep butting up against the rock, you just splash all over the place and you just deplete your energy. So flow around it. And that doesn't mean giving up, and that doesn't mean being passive. It just means being more fluid and going and navigating these challenges with some grace. That's what I bring into my life, and what I find very helpful.
Oh, I love that. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Donna, do you have a question for Maryanne as we're rounding out our interview with her today?
I would love, and I know you have tons of experience with all different types of women in all different stages of life, but can you speak to us just about an example or two of how a woman came into you during this type of transition and you worked with her through the grief and all the emotions that she was feeling there? And I'm just imagining that just going through that process had to be very impactful for her emotional well-being. But can you describe a situation like that for us, that you actually walked with that person through that path?
Sure. Yeah, I have a client who I met through a networking group, and she wanted some branding photos. And so I always have a consultation beforehand just to get to know the woman before. I used to be all in person, but now I can do that through Zoom. I just talk about how she dreams of being photographed. And so she talked about her business photos, but then I showed her my images, and she said, oh gosh, she got really excited when I showed her the body, the boudoir, and boudoir to me just means enjoying your body. It's there's some implied nudity but it's generally just, feeling really good in your body. So she was really excited about those, and she was excited about the beauty images, which is like being on the cover of a magazine. And so her photo shoot, she came in with a lot of clothing, which I put on the rack because we always figure out the wardrobe beforehand. And I was going through the clothing, and then she sat down with the makeup artist, and makeup artist started to caress her face. She started to relax. The hairstylist started to do her hair. And then they started to have a conversation, and I overheard them. They were talking about domestic abuse. And so that, to me, allowed me to understand what she was going through. And so she was married to somebody, and it didn't sound like a very good situation. But I kept it in the back of my mind. And through the photo shoot, we started with the personal branding, and then we progressed to the beauty, and then we did the boudoir, and then we started blowing her hair, and she was laughing, and she was just having this amazing time. She just had like so much fun. She felt like the star of her own show. And I think, so I'll just fast forward. She loved her photos, but then I saw her about a year later. We kept in touch through social media, but I saw her a year later. She actually booked another photo shoot. And she said that photo shoot had started her on the path towards serving her husband divorce papers, because she had seen herself in, again, as I mentioned before, in all these different facets of herself. She had only seen herself almost as like a victim of domestic abuse. She had sort of locked it to that, but she saw herself as someone who was playful. She saw herself as a sensual person. She saw herself as a really confident woman. And so she took those photos and, again, reminded herself of how much agency she had in her life. And so that was a really powerful experience for me. And she's actually had 4 photo shoots altogether, because she says she's addicted to them. So she's now divorced and doing amazing. So that was one of my favorite examples.
And
That
that's
is
what I
incredible.
right.
What'd you say, Donna?
Thank you for asking that question, Donna.
Yeah, no, and I was going to say that's what I feel when I look at your photographs. So to hear you explain what that process was like for the person going through it and the storytelling, you know, what she was sharing, and then how they felt after. That's the transition. That's the power that you are giving to people, giving back their power.
Exactly. And then they can take that feeling of power into all different parts of their life. Yeah, it's an important tool to have. This
That is
to
incredible.
remind yourself how powerful you are.
It's a power up. I think of the video game power up. It's why she's probably addicted to them, because she up levels. I'm guessing every time she does a shoot, she's up leveling and getting herself ready there. That boost of confidence. Incredible, Maryanne. Thank you, Donna, for asking that. Thank you, Maryanne, for sharing some insights into the work that you do, going through the fluidity of it, the balancing of the energies, your own story through cancer, and how you brought that into your work is just incredible. Here she is, ladies, Maryanne Teng Hogarth. Check her out. We will get you all of her information as well. We're going to take a quick break, but then Maryanne's going to give us her divorce tip, her divorce trend. So you do not want to miss. As you can see, Maryanne, this is probably one of our most self-reflective chapters of the book and episode as well, and much needed during this work. Very critical, we'll say too. So we will see everybody very shortly. At Pinkfix Production, your story matters, your voice matters, you matter. It is a privilege to hear your story because of the truth behind it. But it also takes a courageous woman to be bold enough to tell their story, knowing some will judge you, but most, yes, most, will applaud you. We want you to step into being a thought leader and making change in this world, because let's face it, lady, you won't feel satisfied until you make your mark on the world. We accomplish this through several forms of media: podcasts, book publishing, magazines, TV shows, and events. We take you through our 5-step proven process to becoming a thought leader, from getting clarity over your mission, building confidence to use your voice, leveraging the media to declare your mission, aligning with strategic partners, and how to launch your legacy. Yes, we build a platform with you so you can ignite your revolution. All right, ladies, we are back for the best part of the show, where you get some real meat, some tools for your toolbox, especially going through divorce here. So Maryanne, give us your divorce tip. What would you recommend for women going through this big part of their life, this huge change, transformation in their life?
So it's something that I've already mentioned, but it's an important one. So I think the most important tip I would give a woman going through divorce, or any woman actually going through any transition, is to soften. It's so important to just release the rigid hold that we have on our beliefs. So there's intellectually we can soften and just be a little bit more understanding, but also physically we can soften by breathing more slowly, or stretching on a daily basis, or lingering a little bit longer in your warm shower or cold shower, as it is today since it's so hot. And then on a spiritual level, we can soften by just accepting that everything is impermanent, including this really challenging moment that you're going through. And after this, life, you can just do so much beyond your wildest dreams that you don't even realize you can do. You're so capable. So be gentle on yourself, be kind, and take good care of yourself. That's my tip.
Ooh, soften. That's a new one, Donna, and perfect, especially for this episode and your chapter in Divorce Decoded. I'm guessing, Maryanne, you use this when you're going through your cancer as well and taking good care of yourself.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I took the opportunity. I was during COVID, so I took the opportunity to rest. I think everybody who goes through a cancer journey has their own journey, but my journey was to prioritize rest. So it coincided with the shutdown, so I didn't work. So I had the opportunity to soften my lifestyle. And so I just lay in my sunroom, and I didn't expect anything of my day. And I did watch a lot of summits though on healing, and so that's how I think that's how I did my deep dive into energy work.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about energy work through different online courses.
Yeah,
and I was able to practice what I was learning. So that was super, I think, lucky, if the timing, that because nobody was missing me in the world, and nobody was going out. So I gave myself that chance, that opportunity to soften my schedule. I softened my expectations. I softened my couch. Everything about my life was just soft. And so I think I healed better. I think I healed faster. The body heals when it's in a relaxed state. And yeah. So yeah, it was very important during my journey.
Very good. Even the soft blanket and pillows on the couch, right? How can we make everything softer, more luxurious, more comfort, peaceful, serene? And what a good point of how we heal in relaxed states. When you're in that fight mode, in that anger is present, your survival mode, fight or flight, we aren't able to heal. So there's a lot to heal during a divorce journey, during a cancer journey. There's a lot going through that as well. So how can you carve out that space, Maryanne? Incredible. Nice.
First, I just want to add a point though, but you don't have to lay on the couch all day long. I think after I lay on the couch, I got my strength back. And because I was able to lay on the couch, I got my strength to become a better version of myself. And so I think through the divorce challenge, after having given yourself the chance to soften, you will therefore have more strength to become more assertive, to stand up for what you deserve. That's
get your power back.
Get your power back.
Yeah. Kind of get your power back. Yeah, you use that time to invest, as you said, into the energy work. Talk about balancing the yin and the yang, the masculine, the feminine, right? You need that permission. We have to give ourselves permission to find that comfort, the grace, the softness, and that refuels us to then be able to take that action as well. How about a divorce trend? Anything that you are noticing when it comes to women going through divorce that is new, picking up speed and momentum? Maybe were women doing wardrobe photo shoots during divorce? I don't know. What do you think, Maryanne?
Well, I do think that women are booking shoots after a divorce or during a divorce. It's part of investing in themselves. So the trend I'm seeing is that women are starting to prioritize themselves and investing in themselves, which is an important step to take towards reclaiming your power. And so that is a trend I'm seeing, and I think it's fantastic. And I hope more women will follow that trend because, as Dr. Brené Brown says, you'll never go broke investing in yourself.
Ooh, I love Brené Brown. Great quote from her. Amazing. How about you, Donna? Do you see more women investing in themselves through divorce?
I do. And literally just at my last divorce workshop, I was sharing with women that a lot of times when it comes to hiring an attorney or even just the entire professional team that they may need to get through the divorce process, they balk at the amount of money they're going to have to spend to get divorced. And I couch it as an investment in themselves because they've got to spend the money working with the professionals that know how to navigate that path to help them come out with the best outcome. And the comical part of it is that when we're getting married, we have no qualms about dropping $2,000, $10,000, $30,000, $50,000 to get married. But when it comes to getting out of a bad relationship, now we're just stingy with the money. So I totally support the fact that we must invest in ourselves. And I encourage anybody to partake in the photography process, because that's, I mean, just literally have goosebumps still from hearing the description of it. So another good investment.
Oh, yes. One of my questions for Maryanne, and we went through it, just kind of recapping everything, is the tools that these women get from investing in themselves, doing the photo shoot as well, right? Learning the softness, the softer side of themselves, learning that there are moments where they can shed those walls, that armor, giving themselves grace. Let's see, what else do we have? Balancing the energies as well, knowing there's time to invest in ourselves and rest and surround ourselves with comfort. And there's time for us to take that power back and take action. What else, Maryanne and Donna, do you think these amazing tools these women are getting from doing this photo shoot or something similar, just on themselves, right? This is purely for them. So rare we do that.
Well, we all really, everybody, every single human being wants to be seen, valued, and celebrated. And so through a photo shoot, I help a woman feel seen, valued, and celebrated. But I think more important, I help her see herself more deeply, and then value herself more regularly and celebrate herself more willingly, because we just don't do those things, right? So sometimes it just takes a little bit of a nudge or someone else to say, yeah, you are so amazing, and I'm here to remind you of that. So that's a tool I think a woman can gain through a photo shoot.
Oh, yes. How about you, Donna? Anything else you want to add?
I will tell you the one practice that I have developed just because I've become more aware of how critical people are of themselves is anytime I notice something about someone that I like your cute pixie hairdo or your beautiful smile or, whatever it might be, I acknowledge that. I was in a workshop yesterday with somebody and I said, I don't know if you realize this, but you have got the most infectious laugh. And I did this through a text, right? But she came back and literally as soon as she read it, her face lit up. And I thought that's an easy gift for me to give that doesn't cost me anything. And it's a true emotion that I'm expressing. And I think the world could use more of that.
Those little love notes and compliments, and for women to learn how to receive it instead of saying, oh, I laughed too much in the meeting though. Oh, it's a nervous laugh or it's a nervous tick. I was just saying this to my husband, like, you're not good at receiving compliments either. And that your love language? I'm curious. Is affirmations and compliments your love language, Donna, do you think?
For me, it is, yes. I crave it, but I don't ask for it. And if I get it, it lights me up.
Okay. Yes, those little pieces. That's incredible. And going back to the self-investment as we're wrapping up this part of the trend too, when you think of like the divorce and now you have this fresh start, right? And we call it in our world in finance, right? It's like a financial awakening or a rebirth, right? It's an amazing time to invest that money to what were the patterns that I want to leave behind in the divorce? What are the new ones that I want to embrace moving forward? I think similar to like the therapist, and we have a dear friend, right, Donna, who's going through a divorce, and she goes, I'm still working with my therapist beyond the divorce because there's reasons that I was in this relationship and stayed in it. I need to break those neuron connections and create new ones of what do I want for a future relationship, and all of my relationships as well for it too. So there's a lot of patterns that when you work with the professional, you can cut the chain to those patterns to start fresh. And that time of the investment and the reflection and the work that you do, Mary, and the work that you do, Donna, is so huge for that new kind of awakening and rebirth to their future. Wow.
Well, and then the work that you do, Jessica, you are so important in lifting other women up. And that's what we're here to do, is lift each other up. And I appreciate what you do and to bring all these women together, because, again, it's not about competing. That's a masculine energy. It's about collaboration. That's a feminine energy. And the more we work together, the stronger we all become.
Yes. That's where I feel the future is going, especially for women. We're so relationship oriented, and it's collaboration and community over that competition or even the corporation, right? I feel more women, they're leaving the corporate world and they still want community. They still want to belong and feel accepted. But I think it's going to be more of these communities that are just built from the heart versus for profit. And of course, when we leave with our heart, we're going to profit, right? We're not going to have to leave profits on the sideline, but it's going to actually be more and more. And you, Maryanne, Donna, all the women of Divorce Decoded, and we're going to do a quick video so women can learn more about Divorce Decoded, turn the pain into purpose, and are such heart-led in the work that they do. And it really shows. And I'm grateful to have this opportunity on the show here to showcase all of these incredible authors and their heart and their work and the soul that they put into it as well. So let's take a little look at Divorce Decoded, ladies.
All right, Money Queens, introducing our newest anthology book at Pink Fix Productions, Divorce Decoded, a manifesto for women navigating divorce and beyond, coming fall of 2024. For more information or to purchase, go to pinkfixproductions.com.
All right, ladies and money queens, we just have one more question for our incredible guest here tonight, Maryanne. Are you ready, Maryanne?
I am.
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
Your daughter is so adorable.
Thank you. She loves being a part of the show. I let her know every time when we record, you were on the commercial.
Well, I think it's great that you're involving her at this young age and you're handing her the mic and giving her that chance to have her voice be heard, because that's just going to help her feel more confident. So what makes me a woman behind the millions? So I'm a confidence booster as well. I feel that through my work, I can help a woman recognize how beautiful she is inside and out, and that will help her navigate the challenges of this world more confidently. Just knowing that she is an amazing, powerful, beautiful woman. So once she can feel that inside, then she can reach for the stars and even reach for those millions.
Reach for the millions. I love it. And they feel like a million, let's say a billionaire, right? When they are modeling, and I just to see their expression, right? Because you love doing the unveiling in person, right, Maryanne?
I do, yeah.
Capturing that. I would, like Donna, yeah, we just have to get involved in Maryanne's world and do it. I'm thinking maybe a money queen retreat where we have Maryanne and we all get to dress up like money queens and goddesses.
I love that.
Get to work. It would just be incredible, because we know, like, when we feel good on the inside, everything in our external world changes. It does. And that is incredible. So thank you, Maryanne, for the work that you do for women going through divorce, but for all women, for your own journey, honoring it, and being a part of Divorce Decoded and on Women Behind the Millions. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Donna, for co-hosting with me again for this season. It's been so much fun having you here and getting your insights, as divorce is your specialty, here as well. Awesome, ladies. Well, we will see you all next week on Women Behind the Millions, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on E360. That's on Roku, Apple, Amazon Fire, Samsung iOS, their streaming app, our YouTube. We have you covered, ladies, as we are a resource for you all. We will see you next week.
Hey, Money Queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7, 8, 9 figures? Follow us on Instagram at PinkFixMyMoney and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money